second, I got something to say.
I started writing songs with a guy called Adrian, who was my best friend in high school. We were in a band together, and I probably started writing songs because he started writing songs. I started writing out of necessity because I ended up being the only guitar player in the band, and you can't really rely on the bass player and the drummer to write songs. I had a band in Sydney, and so I ended up writing a lot of the songs. Classic song that I wrote, well, just to be clear, I co-wrote it, is called Tell Me It's Mutual. That was written when I was in a band called Furlong in Melbourne. I wrote it with the singer in that band, Andrea, and the bass player, John, and the drummer, Tim, helped out with the arrangements and added to it. So it was a bit of a team effort. I am pretty proud of it. I don't know how classic it is, although it's now getting on a bit, as I am, so I suppose it's by default becoming classic. Vintage. I think I wrote it on my couch at my old rental house in Melbourne. We were kind of doing a duo thing at the time. We'd been writing mainly softer, folkier, or acoustic-y stuff, but the idea was there to kind of try and form a band, and I think this was one of the first songs or ideas that we pulled together which were intended for a bigger band. We wrote separately. I would email her stuff, she emailed something back, we liked it, we'd get together, we'd work through on it, and it all came together pretty quickly. It was probably written in about 2013. I wrote the chords, and the song itself is pretty simple. It's just basically 4 chords. It's a pretty straightforward chord progression, 1, 5, 6, 4. When I wrote it, it just sounded like a good power pop chord progression. It had, kind of joyful major key kind of vibe to it, with the kind of sneaky feeling. I think it immediately inspired Andrea to write some vocals and lyrics, and what she came up with was really great. It was really poppy, a really great halfway point between a sort of dumb pop and heartfelt sentiment that I really liked. It kind of became a big song, if you like, a big song for a little band. Should I indulge you with a little bit of serenading at this point? I happen to have a guitar just here. All right, so this song's basically based around F, C, D minor, B flat. So those are the chords that I put together. I played them more in a sort of chug. I thought the vocal was really cute. It was hooky because of the hey hey chorus. I had some good lyrics in there. I really like this line that Andrea came up with. There'll be bruises in the aftermath, too many to count. And then we recorded it. We did this cute 1, 2, 3, 4 count into the chorus. There'll be bruises in the aftermath, too many to try and count. 2, 3, 4. That would be a lovely thought to think that it did connect with so many people, or perhaps maybe we should say it had the potential to connect with so many people. A song like this is just basic bubblegum pop. I think the DNA of it just comes from decades of similar pop songwriting. The chorus, it's just obvious, just jumps out at you, and that's as much of the chemistry that's involved in this one. It's like a light switch. On, off, on, off. Off. Playing it live, we played a lot of little live gigs around, and we launched this as a single at a place called the Gasometer in Collingwood, and that was probably most memorable because it was a small room and we managed to pack it, so people were definitely enjoying it, and it sounded loud, it sounded really live, especially the thrashy bits. It would get a bit almost out of control, like a train that was about to kind of like come off the tracks sometimes, so that was actually mildly exciting, I think. I mean, you don't aim for that. You're aiming to play it kind of perfectly, especially if it's the first song and you're full of jitters, full of energy. It's got the potential to take on a life of its own. I think songwriting is a journey. You have purple patches, as they say, where things are all flowing and songs are just coming out, and then sometimes you hit some rough ground and it's like pulling teeth, and everything sounds a bit naff and you're just sort of going through the motions. But I think it's important to just work through those periods. I think the best stuff comes, for me personally, as soon as I'm not thinking about it. I pick up a guitar and just let my hands go to where they want to go. It's almost a bit frustrating if you try and capture that, because it's actually this sort of sense of disconnection and not being particularly invested in it in the moment that I think yields the best results. It just happens along. Your fingers just trip over a chord change or a riff or something, and you're like, oh, what was that you just played there? Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I got a thing. That's the trick, to just gather a thing, find a thing, gather a thing, and then craft a thing.